Sorry, I have to re-upload a video because my mic wasn't working in the last video. Sorry, guys, the 14 viewers who saw that, my apologies. So this is me redoing video. This is the 2.5.2 patch notes, the important version. But since this is my second tank, this will be a lot, well, let's just be honest here. It's not going to be a lot better. I'm going to do what I normally do. So, this is his SR wheel. Also, I'm re-evaluating Pontos because his posse is god fucking awful. So, let's do his SR wheel. So, this has the exact same effect as his SR wheel, minus the Alienist regen. And I mentioned it in the past video that this is strange because this is lazy. Because look at what it does. Strength down, and then crit damage increase on red stance. So let's go to the kit review. This is just a minor nitpick. So this is his wheel, his SSR wheel. Normally, SR wheels are slightly different, but teases what the unit is going to do. This is just copy and paste minus the Alienist regen. It's literally just the strength down effect and the crit damage on red stance, as opposed to pass wheels, which are more unique. And that's a nitpick of laziness, in my opinion. Again, this is inconsequential. No one should care about it but me. But I don't like that direction of the game. That seems like it's less effort they're putting into the game. So I'm gonna show you, before I go into the important part, what I'm talking about. Like look at this. This is Caster's SR wheel. Shield generation, but gain shield equal to defense, which is 2% of the wielder's defense per turn. So this is increases every turn end. This is unique. Pikmin. Collaboration. Increases crit rate and consume collaboration. Alienist gains equal to 25% of the wielder's. So let's compare it to their actual wheels. So where's Pikmin wheel? Here we go. See? This is completely different. There's only minor similarities, and this is a good effect. And like even calves. See? Oh yeah, this is G-Doll is like the most important one. G-Doll's wheel is so fucking good on Karen. Like, this is unique. Whereas we go back to what Pontos' SR wheel is literally 1-to-1, but weaker. It's literally the same but weaker. It is bad design given what we're used to. Cause now it's literally just a weaker version of its SSR wheel. Normally SR wheels are different. Side grades. Maybe a little weaker, but they do something different. But now it's just a cut weaker version. I think it's because people are using SR wheels too much and they want people to pull for SSR wheels more. So that is my theory. Could be wrong. I don't know what you guys think about it. This is the first time a wheel is ununique. An SR wheel is not unique. So I don't like it, personally. So let's talk about his garbage ass posse. So I am revaluing my initial pre-review. Again, the final review is after I test them and see how he functions in-game. These are just my thoughts. So that's why it's always a range. I gave him a range of S to B tier. Now with the posse revealed, it's now A to C tier. He's has a chance of being another C tier unit, like Pollux, like Munchette. So because he doesn't go in that many teams, especially with this garbage ass posse. So that's potential. He's probably gonna end up higher, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see when I actually test him out. I have a few teams I'm gonna test him out on. So temporary crit damage increased by 30%, strength down by 35, one stack of pack hunt. This is so fucking bad. It's not what he fucking needs. You know what he needs if you're not a fucking retard. If you're not a fucking mouth-breathing retard. Like, he needs straw to draw his gaunts. Because right now, the only way to draw his gaunts are his 2-cost cards and his strike and defense once a turn. And your deck is going to be flooded with gaunts. If you're playing him right, if you're playing him stall, if you're getting those 3 kills. Like, let's say you're playing him wrong. You're a fucking idiot. You haven't even read his kit. You're following some other dog shit person. So, if you're playing him wrong, let's say you're only getting 1 kill a mob wave. On wave 2 and 5, let's say you're getting only 1 kill max on his XL. So that's 6 gaunts in your deck. Those 6 gaunts plus 1 from his conjoined gaunt, which you're probably going to get, for 7. If you have him not plus 12, that's 2 stacks of Pack Hunt to 3. Let's say you get some extra kills. That's 3 stacks of Pack Hunt on his rouse already. And you're going to rouse him. His posse gives you 1 Pack Hunt. And Pack Hunt lets his gaunts double trigger. So, it's not worth it. How are you going to trigger Pack Hunt if you don't draw his gaunt cards in the first place? He needs drawing gaunt cards and making the gaunt cards cheaper. Because if you don't have him E3, because all these fucking retards don't gauge the average player. Most guys are not going to have him E3. Most guys are probably going to have him E1, E2 at best. If you don't have his E3, you don't get his Aftershock effect. If you don't get his Aftershock effect, guess what gaunt cards cost? 1 mana. They cost 1 mana. And 2 of the 3 gaunt cards are worth it. Well, actually, 1 is middling, 1 is useless, 1 is great. So let's say you draw his gaunt cards, which gives you 5 Alienness to Utter Awakeners and 1 Insight. That does not draw, by the way. It's a 1 mana card that gives you 1 mana, 1 draw in the draw pile. So basically, 0. Zero value. The only value is for Alienness. So you can use that fucking Insight for later to play his X cards. However, his X card does not have Retain. His X card does not have Retain, so you have to pray that it goes into it. So, why would you want this posse instead of a draw gaunt posse? Or just a draw posse that makes gaunts cheaper? That's what I assume his posse would be, because it's the easiest thing you can do in game design. They did it with Arachne. They did it with a lot of other units. Just make his posse draw gaunt cards. Make the gaunt card 0 mana. Rather than this Pack Hunt. Crit damage, reduce strength. Because remember how much crit damage she already has. This 30%? Nothing. Nothing. You know what are better posses? Any draw posse. So you can actually draw his fucking gaunts. So when you draw the gaunts, even if you don't use them at E3, when you discard them, they become cheaper. Why is this posse like literally the worst fucking posse in the game? It's probably one of the worst posses in the game. Every other strength down posse has higher value. Zoo, Dorsey. Those are the other 2 strength down posses off the top of my head. There's probably another one I'm missing. Zoo and Dorsey gives higher values for strength down and more beneficial effects for their actual unit. So I don't know what they're thinking with this fucking posse. Who would use this? If you're using his posse with Pontos, you're not following my guys. Just listen to someone else. You don't know how to play the game. Holy shit. It's so fucking bad. So let's go on to the next thing. Also, before I go over this dog shit wheel, I'm gonna go with the new thing. Pull on Gellet, since the rerun banners reveal. Just pull on Gellet. Instead of wasting your pulls on Pontos, just pull on Gellet. Gellet goes into more teams than Pontos. And at least Gellet has a clear-cut posse, lone seed, even though it's not her posse. It works well with her. Or Corpo. If you really want to pull Pontos, then get Corpo E2. Because Corpo, I'm going now, Corpo is going to be best in slot on every Pontos team. Based on my theory crafting so far. And if you don't think so, just follow someone else because you're a fucking retard. But yeah, Corpo is mandatory on a Pontos team the way I'm planning to run him. So yeah, pull on Corpo EE2 if you're planning to run Pontos. Corpo is more important on a Pontos team than a Pontos. I'll go over it in the actual video. It's quite obvious. Those guys have like 2 brain cells to rub together. You already figured out why. But Gellet, mandatory, Corpo. So rather than pull Pontos, come off those, just leave him at E0 to E2. E3, if you have the pulls, his E3 is not as important as Corpo or Gellet. And let's go on over the other things before I go over the wheel, because it's going to be a long-winded rant. So this is just the new icons. This is the beach event again. And this is the new trapeze icon. And no one cares about that. I know. No one cares about PvP videos. No one cares about PvP in this game. I made PvP videos. I made PvP guides. I stopped playing it because no one fucking cares. So, this. Damage Amp. Dreaming of Wonderland. This is probably like the worst plus 12 wheel in the game. It's probably like one of the worst wheels in the game. It's so fucking niche. There are 2 to 3 scenarios where you want to pull it. If you fill those 2 to 3 scenarios, sure, buy it. But I'm gonna tell you why it's bad. For those of you guys without brain cells. So here, after exploration starts, 1 Dreaming of Wonderland to the deck. Dreaming of Wonderland, the card. It consumes 2 mana, so it costs 2 mana. Okay, what does it give? Gives 50 ailments. It might be worth it for 2 mana. For 2 mana. 3 stacks of mental interference. Unable to act. Remove 1 stack at turn's end. After all stacks are removed, the next time this Awakener releases an Exile, it's treated as an OE. If it's already an OE, instead restore 100% base ailments. That's right, it locks the fucking unit for 3 fucking turns. Now, for easy content, if you're playing fucking easy brain dead content, or you're an ECOG gamer like some people, sure, you can think to use it. But you know, if you actually play Alert 5 endgame on low invest, either you have a stall team that can survive 3 turns, or you kill them within the 3 turns. What scenario are you gonna have that you can install for 3 turns and need the OE? Almost none. So let me go over every Awakener and showcase how fucking dog shit this wheel is as an example. So let me go over everything. Remember, it locks it for 3 turns. So I have to evaluate, does the Awakener need their Overexalt for this to be worth it? To will. Overexalt is very good. If you're walking here for fucking 3 turns, you uninstall the game. Uninstall the game. You know why you don't want to lock her for fucking 3 turns. You want to play her cards. You want to play her wings. Her wings are very good. Barrier, for example. 4 wings. Mana down. And guess what? Her twin wings generate her enough ailments for her to exalt anyway. Worthless. Calf. She doesn't even need her Overexalt. If you're walking her for 3 turns, you lost. She's your main DPS carry. You're locking Monchet's damage for 3 turns, you're dead. You're locking him for 3 turns? Why do you need his Overexalt over playing his memory rondos? G-Doll, she needs her Overexalt, sure. Why are you locking her for fucking 3 fucking turns when you can't heal or inflict poison with her 3 costs? You don't need her Overexalt, and you want to play her cards. Don't need his Overexalt, you're making him a Keyflare bot most of the time. His cards are nice. Her Overexalt doesn't really do much. If you're using her Overexalt and locking her for 3 turns, uninstall the game. You want to Overexalt almost every turn on her. Not once every 3 turns. Riker. You want to play his fucking cards. His unexpected gains to draw a card. That's the reason you're using him. You don't use him for his Overexalt. Let's see. Lotan. Sure. This is the first viable unit that this plus 12 wheel can go on. Because her cards, her strikes, doesn't really do much. However, her Overexalt is one of the best Overexalts in the game because of the percent damage. Sure, you can lock her for 3 turns, and it's very hard to charge up her Overexalt normally anyway. Viable. Doll. Her Overexalt is useless. Overexalt is useless. Sure, you can lock her for 3 turns. You don't really play any of her cards anyway. You don't really play any of Karen's cards anyway. You just lock her for 3 turns, and her Marvelous Cuisine is, again, not counted as her card. So it won't lock her Marvelous Cuisines. So lock her for 3 turns. Another viable option. That's 2 units so far that are viable. Nymph. Don't need her Overexalt. Want to play her cards. Weakness Vul. Don't need her Overexalt. Want to play her cards. Lamau. You're not going to use her anyway. G Murphy. If you lock G Murphy for 3 turns, uninstall the game. You clearly do not know how to fucking play the game. If you think this is good on G Murphy. Caucus. Uninstall the game. You want to play her cards. Arita. Check into the nearest hospital. Check into the nearest hospital. Yeah, this is not even uninstalled game level. This is go to the nearest hospital. Whatever dog shit person you've been following to learn the game that tells you to put this on Arita, check yourself in the hospital. Ask them to do a brainwaves. I think you might have a tumor in your head. You want to play her cards. You want to play her Glance, generate more Glance. That's her whole thing. Why are you overexalting her without her fucking 10-10 Glance? You're walking her for fucking 3 turns? What are you doing in your life? Sangha. You can lock her for 3 turns to get her overexalt. Is quite nice. But why? Because she is a bit slow on charging her overexalt. It's not worth it, though. It's not worth it, though. Goliath. Sure, you can lock him for 3 turns. You're not playing his cards anyway. His cards are useless. However, you don't need his overexalt. Just his base exalt is fine. His base exalt is fine as a strength buffer. Not needed. You're locking her for 3 turns, you're dead. Uninstall the game. You're playing Corpo's weakness cards. That's why she's on your team. She charges her a fucking overexalt and exalt just fine on her own, baby. You can lock Vortex for 3 turns the way I play her. The way you should play Vortex if you're not an idiot, sure. You can lock her for fucking 3 turns for all I care. Get her overexalt. It's good. Because you're going to generate her reloads off of her posses anyway. I mean her pursuits. Sure, it works. However, her charge already gets her 75 elements. But is a good option on Vortex. Tulu. Sure. If you're playing a... No. Yeah, sure. If you want to do it for shits and giggles, lock him for 3 turns. You don't typically play his cards. However, why would you want to waste 2 mana on getting Tulu's Overexalt? Because Tulu's Overexalt is mainly very, very good for mob waves, and it's 3 turns you have to wait. If you need 3 turns to kill a mob wave, and this is your only chance to kill a mob wave, then what are you doing in your life? Murphy. No one uses her Overexalt anyway. No one uses her Overexalt. No one even knows what her Overexalt does. This is what her Overexalt does, by the way. Did you know? Most veteran players do not even know what her Overexalt does, because no one pulls her to Overexalt. You just need her E2, E3. That's her purpose, to live. Why would you lock her for 3 turns? Why would you lock Miriam for 3 turns? You want to use her cards to give an alias to the other unit. Celise. Sure. After you use Overexalt, after you use regular Exalt, play the card. When 3 turns come out, pair Overexalt. But why would you need her Overexalt? Well, no one cares about her Overexalt. Well, why would you need that? Pharaohs. No one uses her Overexalt. No one uses her Overexalt. Jellet. You're locking her for 3 turns, uninstall the game. You don't know how to play the game. Uninstall the game. Uninstall the game. I'm not going to even insult your intelligence to explain why you should uninstall the game. If you don't understand why you would never use that wheel on these 3 units, then there's nothing my guides or anyone guides can help you. You are fundamentally unable to play this game. Uninstall the game. Uninstall the game. Uninstall the game. You're not going to use her anyway in most cases. Sure, but why? Sure, but why? You're not going to play her cards anyway. You can lock her for 3 turns. Uninstall the game. You want her Faint's Exalt. This is why I need some explanation. You need her Exalt normally. You don't need her over Exalt. Also, her cards generate just enough alias and you can feed her babies already. Uninstall the game. Doubly uninstall the game. You want his lone seed on his 2 costs. Saya. Viable. However, Saya's more aggressive with her corrosion. If you ever encounter a situation where you can wait 3 turns, get her overexalt after playing the card. Remember, you have to draw the fucking card. You might not even get it turn 1. You might get it, so you might need to wait till turn 4 or turn 5 for it to take effect. Can you stall 4 to 5 turns with Saya? Why would you want to stall 4 to 5 turns with Saya? In that case, sure. But you flood your deck with weather units. It fixes Saya. It's viable. But at what cost? The cost is eating shit for 4 to 5 turns. Uvash. if it takes you longer than 3 turns to generate an overexalt on Uvosh. Most of the time, that's not the case. Caster. You want to play his fucking cards to generate the plumes, unless you're some fucking retard who doesn't know how to fucking play Caster. Like I showcase, you know who the fucking retard is. Fucking wasting his plumes playing worse than fucking auto. If you are a gamer that plays worse than fucking auto, you still wouldn't fucking use it on Caster. Let's say Jenkins. No, you don't need her overexalt. Winkle, viable. The next viable unit. Why is it viable, players? Winkle is a Alienist bot, Alienist battery. However, it's hard to generate up her Alienist. This solves the issue. And after you get her overexalt, it's very, very good. Her overexalt is extremely good. It's just very hard to charge up. Viable on Winkle. Plus, you don't really care about using Winkle's cards that much. Erica, she's your Keyflare bot. If you lock your Keyflare bot for 3 turns, uninstall the game. You're not using her for her overexalt. You're using her for her poofs normally. Arachne. Very niche scenario where you would use that fucking wheel plus 12. What is the niche scenario, players? You already used both of her 1 costs with Dreams, and they're in your discard pile. It takes you 2 to 3 turns to redraw your entire deck in order to get her things again. And you just exalted on her. Her Alienist is 0. Those are the very extreme niche scenarios where it's good on Arachne. It's viable. Garbage unit, not going to use it anyway. Daffodil, viable on bosses. Why is this viable, players? Because it takes a long time to charge up her overexalt the normal way. Very, very long time. Longer than 3 turns most of the time. So, in that scenario, if you can manage to stall, this is good on Daffodil. Wanda. Sure, she's useless anyway. Lock her for 3 turns. You're not going to use her cards anyway. Horla. If you lock Horla for 3 turns, I don't know what to say to you. For her overexalt, it's not worth it, dude. Tink. Not going to use her anyway. Clem. Even though she's a fucking garbage, disturbing bug unit, and you should gouge your fucking eyes out because she caused the car crash that killed your family. Your twink son Pollux. Clem killed your twink son Pollux. She is a fucking spoiled little brat whose dad worked for the CIA. You should know that if you walk your Keyflare bot for 3 fucking turns, uninstall the game. Pollux. Uninstall the game. I don't need to explain. Even if you have a whale out Pollux and you're locking him for 3 fucking turns, 3 turns of not using his first played card, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? So yeah, that's why this wheel is fucking garbage. End the video.